Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Hope you had a great weekend as the month is counting down. Okay, Monday onto our serious business. Now, our guest this week, well, let's start off with politics this week. Well, a lot of what we do is actually politics, isn't it? My guest this morning is Dr. Daniel Bwala. Now, Dr. Daniel Bwala is a lawyer. He's spokesman of the Atiku Abubakar Presidential Campaign. So, first of all, let me say a good morning to you, Dr. Bwala.
Thank you for having me. I'm so sorry I didn't know. I don't know your name, but
my name is Yori Folani. I beg your pardon, Yori Folani.
Okay.
So Yori.
Thank you, Mr. Yori.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
As I was just saying, you are spokesman for Atiku Abubakar Presidential Campaign, and you're a man, shall we say, who Atiku Abubakar being in PDP, he's the presidential candidate there. Between the PDP and even the APC, I guess I could say you know your way around, having yourself been in both parties. Right now, you are of the PDP, but you used to be with APC. Very much as your principal, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of PDP, well, there have been associations, you know, in the past. But you're quite instrumental, shall we say, I've heard the story that you worked for the Tinubu presidential quest. That was back in the primary days. Those days are over now. And here you are now working with Atiku Abubakar. Explain to me first, before we go into our conversation, which is going to be about the former governor of Kano and sitting senator for Kano Central, Ibrahim Shekarau, decamping yet again, let it be said, from his latest party, NNPP, New Nigeria People's Party, into the PDP now. But first of all, tell me, let me, so that we can understand it a bit, back in the day, you worked for the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Explain that bit to me, and how come you've now moved from there to working for the Atiku Abubakar presidential quest?
Right. Thank you for having me, and good morning to the viewers. Yeah, I was in APC, and I've been in APC for 7 years, one of the leading supporters and advocates for APC, both as a political party and for the government of Muhammadu Buhari. And I played an immense role. Somebody from the party said, in fact, the role I played was a leading role in the emergence of Asiwaju. What I mean by leading role is as far as media is concerned, because there are many other variables that contributed to its emergence. But media-wise, I was a Navy SEAL for him, and I defended him. And some of the people today who are acting as his spokesperson then, at the party level, they were for a different candidate, and they were saying so many things about him that I, even right now from the opposition, I can't say. But I believed in him. I had a very close relationship with him, personal, and I was so happy that what I worked for paid off, that at the end of the day, he emerged the winner.
Okay.
And in fact, he also has a very good thought, you know, towards me, because even before the primaries, having seen how much I worked, he promised to make me a presidential spokesman heading to the campaign, which I consider that as quite impressive and something to respect, because if you are around Asiwaju, you know that there are layers, there are governors, there are individuals who want to prevail one way or the other. And for him to directly speak to you face to face in his car and promise that to you, I consider that an honor. And when I joined PDP and I said I was not going to attack his character, it got to a point when people were even thinking, how can you change your party and say you will not attack the character of Asiwaju? But I said that because I am an African. We come from a foundation where we can debate issues, but without having to insult people. And that's why I said I will not insult his character. I will not even use some of the words that the people who are advocating for him now used against him then. But that is it about my role for him. But he made a decision that I felt was in different direction with my core conviction and philosophy, which was why I left him and I left the party. And after I left the party, I continued to think about the role I can play in Nigeria for nation building. And I felt that the path APC took by that decision was not a path that will unify the country. So I said, we have to work towards ensuring that that kind of arrangement does not work. So, and the only party that could put an end to APC's progression is PDP.
Okay.
And that's one. Number two, my choice of the PDP is also because the candidate of the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is somebody I have the highest regards for. Is somebody I consider at the moment as the most experienced and qualified person given the exigency of the moment and the circumstances we face in Nigeria. And I have a lot to say going forward and right into the campaign about his attributes, about his experience, about his history, and about his commitment and strong will in ensuring that Nigeria is moved in a direction that will take us out of the woods and then place us in a better pedestal.
Okay, thank you very much for that overview. Now, you share the role of a spokesman for Atiku Abubakar presidential campaign with Senator Dino Melaye. So both of you are, handling this particular important function, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So now to the meat of the matter. First of all, we don't even know yet. We do know that Senator, Ibrahim Shekarau has made up his mind to move, but whether it'll be today, newspaper reports have been saying that today in Kano, but I don't know. We're also hearing that that is a tentative. First of all, let me ask you, what information do you have? Will it be today or tomorrow that PDP and its top hierarchy will be receiving Senator Ibrahim Shekarau into the party? Back into the party?
Yes, I know for a fact that there are events which commenced yesterday with the arrival of Atiku Abubakar from France to Kano to pay courtesy visit, and then the series of events might lead up to today and tomorrow. And during this period, we're expecting that His Excellency Shekarau will be officially unveiled, or he will be received into the People's Democratic Party. And because of his importance and the important role he plays in nation building, being a two-time governor, being, I think, former senator or one-time minister or something like that, and then for you to see Atiku Abubakar flying from France, not through Abuja, not through anywhere, but straight to meet him, that tells you of his importance. And he is somebody that the Kano base to the very root and foundation have the highest regards for. He's a mover and shaker of people who believe in a progressive Nigeria. And so him coming into the party, I know is a very big plus, because like I said earlier, when I was with Asiwaju, I remember Asiwaju was making every effort under the heaven to reconcile Shekarau and Ganduje, which never worked. So even Asiwaju's effort in getting Shekarau suggests to me that Shekarau is very important. But he has chosen PDP because PDP is the most attractive party at the moment. And so whether today, tomorrow, or day after tomorrow he's being received, the prospect of his coming into the party is a conclusive proof that PDP will win Kano landslide.
Okay, it's interesting you say that, because I was going to ask you whether the electorate can take what some might see as this flip-flopping. Senator Shekarau left the PDP for APC, was elected into the Senate on the platform of the APC. Then he left for a New Nigeria People's Party. Now he's coming back into the PDP. So how will the electorate see all of this? Will it be a minus or a plus? You said you think it is a plus because of the stature of the man, but might the electorate start feeling being taken for granted, that wherever he goes, he expects people to follow him? Is that not a weakness of sorts?
So there are two types, in my view, of people who view and express views in that regard. Number one, are the social media people who feel that if you stay with a party, you shouldn't have any reason to move to any other party. Unfortunately for this category of people in the social media, they are not being honest with themselves, because virtually every presidential candidate in this election has had to move from one party or the other. I give you an example. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has moved from one party to another. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in AD, then AC, then ACN, and now APC. The political party, in my view, is an association where people of like minds come together with a common goal and then a push to win elections so they can deliver on what they promise to the people, consistent with the provision of the Constitution. And because Africa is not like the United States or other advanced economies, we are, for example, the ideological dimension influence politics to a larger degree. Like in the US, if you see most of the people who are in the Republican Party are the conservative by nature. Somebody even pushed it further and said there are people who have deep belief system about religion, about faith and everything, because Republican Party tend to tend in that direction. The Democrats are people who believe in liberal democracy, liberality. But these are the other extremes. The other part that relates to policy and economy is that the Republican Party are a party that believe in free market economy. They believe that the government should not keep interfering through regulations. They believe that the government should also not regulate people's lives. Government must respect right to religion. They believe in the supremacy of America, and then you go on and on. The Democrats believe that America is no man's land and anybody can come to America to achieve the American dream. They believe you have to tax the rich in order to even economic activities so that the middle class will be strengthened. Those who are below the middle class level will be given intervention. So if you see even in our Nigeria today, you will see that APC tell to think towards the, what you call the Democratic Party, while PDP tilts towards the Republican Party, in the sense that PDP believe in free market economy, they believe in private sector participation in the economy. APC believe that everybody is poor, government has to throw handouts here and there. Now, then the movement of individual, it is based, number one,
not quite
on
how you
his
were
belief
saying
system
it.
about the character of the people he's joining up to. Right, go ahead.
I was going to say that's not quite how you were saying it when you were on the other side, but maybe this is part of politics. We're going to come to that. We're going to come to even how are you concerned that people might look at you and say that, look, you're being a communicator here. It's not as if you have any particular conviction. Otherwise, you couldn't work for Tinubu and then the next moment, in the next step, work for Atiku Abubakar. That to you, it's just a job, not really a conviction.
Okay, so if you permit me to respond, there was a time both Tinubu and Atiku Abubakar were in one political party, and Abubakar was the presidential candidate of that political party. And then they part separate ways. Are you suggesting that both of them are doing job rather than conviction? That's the first point. And then number two, you said I'm a communicator. Let me tell you my conviction.
Yeah.
Since you push it that way. I try to avoid that, but because I felt there are bigger issues to talk about going to the election. But since you raised it, it's good I say that this is my first time in your program and talk about conviction. My conviction is that the nation Nigeria consists of multiplicity of faith, background, cultural belief system, and inequality in the system. Mm-hmm. And so if we have to achieve the Nigerian dream, we must respect what we call diversity. Now, the concept of diversity the world over has now come to stay, so much so that if you go to England now, you will see the person who is about to become the Prime Minister of England is from a minority. He is a son of an immigrant, and he's a Muslim, because the country of the United Kingdom encouraged diversity. In other words, they ensure that their policy is such that somebody who is at a weaker position or disadvantage is not inhibited from achieving his highest dream in a big country like that. APC made a decision to select a Muslim ticket. So even on that, I have a right, since I don't believe in that philosophy, and he was going to make me the spokesman, I couldn't be the marketer or salesperson of what I don't believe in. Isn't that a conviction? That's number one. Number two, diversity would have entailed that historically in Nigeria, since the return of democracy, we have always balanced the tickets across all levels, at least at the national, because that is the federation. And for the first time, Asiwaju is fielding a Muslim ticket. So I felt that there is a demographics, which of course is about 80 million, that will feel disenfranchised, or rather they will feel that they are snubbed. And I belong to that demographic, so on conviction ground I left. Now, having left, I know a lot of people will prefer that I go home and sit down because they believe if I move to the other side, I will do a lot of damage to the party I left. That's why you see in social media, the minute you say something, they come all out against you because they know of your capacity and contribution. So I believe that having explained it, it must be clear to you that I made a decision on the basis of conviction. But I even went deeper to tell you that even the candidates who are running for the presidential ticket in both political parties have met at one time and have parted at different times on the basis of conviction. If you want to know why they parted, when Atiku was running for presidential candidate on the party Asiwaju flaunted, Asiwaju wanted to be his vice presidential candidate. And Atiku said, no, it will not be good given the circumstance and situation we're in the country. And because it didn't work, they worked separate ways. Many years later, Bwala is leaving Asiwaju still on the basis of this belief system. Now, another Christian may not view it that way. I have to respect the right of everybody. I am not saying my will should be imposed on anybody, but people must respect my right to make a decision based on my conviction, and then I live by my conviction. So I believe that this is not about work. I have been, all my life, I've been with APC since APC came to be. And when I was supporting APC, I give you an example, the spokesman for Asiwaju at the moment, he is spokesman. When we were at the primaries, I was supporting Asiwaju, he was supporting Rotimi Amechi. There were the kind of heinous and unprintable issues they raised and generated against Asiwaju. I can't do it even in PDP. He's today the spokesperson for Asiwaju.
Who are you referring to?
Whether it is of conviction.
Sorry, Dr. Bwala. Who are you referring to?
Asiwaju has one chief spokesperson.
That you don't want to mention?
I'm referring to him.
You don't want to mention his name?
As a matter of fact, let me tell you this. Personally, I believe that Asiwaju made a big mistake by allowing Governor Lalong and Festus Keyamo to be DG and spokesperson, and I will tell you why. They did not, and I still believe they don't believe in him, because when we were in the primaries, they were not supporting him. They were supporting a candidate other than him. Asiwaju ought to have appointed people who were very loyal to him, who died for him at a time when everybody turned their backs from him. They are the ones that can carry his message. But he has carried people who don't believe in him. And when the campaign starts and we begin to bring to public fora what they say, that is when it will be clear to Asiwaju that he made the wrong choice.
Okay, so now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Quite frankly, there's no way you escape the politicking that's going to be involved in this kind of a conversation, giving your role and the subject matter. Okay, but let me try and stay on the lane of the subject matter. Senator Ibrahim Shekarau, what would you say he brings to the table of Atiku Abubakar's quest? Having, although you've also explained it, having spoken about the flip-flops as it can be seen by other people. What do you think? What is it now that he brings to the... Because I must say, going by the news, people seem excited about the fact that he might be coming. In fact, I think it's a done deal. He will be coming to the PDP anytime soon. So what do you think he's bringing to the table?
Right. Yeah, what Shekarau brings to the table, he brings Kano to the table. Shekarau, you can find that out, has a checkered history of influence in Kano State. Everybody was looking to have Shekarau in their camp, because as a two-time, you couldn't have been a two-time governor in a state like Kano if you were not popular. Two, long after you left power as a governor, if you are not popular, you could not have had such an influence that he commands in Kano State. But Shekarau's coming into the party is emblematic of many more things that will happen in the Northwest. And I will tell you quickly. The Northwest overwhelmingly voted for APC in the elections, both 2015 and 2019. What the Northwest got as a dividend from APC is insecurity. And you know that the Northwest now is called as the epicenter of insecurity in West Africa. In fact, somebody even said in Africa.
Sorry,
and it is the president.
I want to understand.
Allow me, permit me to land.
Because I wanted to understand that point. Are you saying that APC brought insecurity to the Northwest?
Yes. You know, because in leadership consists of action and inaction. There are some things you do that creates a problem. There are some things you fail to do which creates a problem. So APC brought insecurity to the Northwest by inaction, not by action. What do I mean by inaction? The things you needed to do which you did not do. The steps you needed to take which you did not take. For example, on the 26th of February, 2015, at the Royal Institute of International Studies, the Chatham House in London, the President of the Federal Republic was addressing the world, and he told them that PDP could not spend and failed to spend to fight insecurity, and that if he's elected as president, the world will have no reason to worry about Nigeria. 7 years later, the world is more worried about Nigeria than they were in 2015. Why? If you say you inherited insecurity from the Northeast, did you inherit insecurity from the Northwest? The answer certainly is no. Banditry has spread across the Northwest that they even threatened to abduct the president of the Federal Republic. Remember, they attacked the prison. They are now creating a government somewhere in Kaduna because the governor of Kaduna, who is an APC governor, wrote a letter to the president to say that bandits have formed a government there, they are collecting taxes, and they threaten there will be no election. So this, and then you go to the southeast, it is no-go area. You come to north central, you see the same. Between Kaduna and Abuja, in the last 6 or 9 months, 1.2 billion was extorted from poor private citizens of the Federal Republic through banditry. So the inaction of APC-led government has created the insecurity. But the Northwest, this is what they are getting. That's why you are seeing them en masse. They are moving to PDP. Now, 2 days ago, you saw the rally in Daura, where the president comes from. You see the sea of heads. Kano is also part of the Northwest. In fact, let me make a bold prediction. It will be difficult for APC to win a single state in the Northwest. And I will tell you when the campaign starts. Because majority of the senators in the National Assembly that are thinking of coming to PDP, they come from the Northwest. The nephew of the president resigned his membership of APC and is thinking about moving to PDP. PDP is a party that all through the years they governed in the Northwest, they didn't give this insecurity to the Northwest, whether by action or inaction. And PDP was also confronted with its shares of insecurity. But how you deal with a situation goes a long way to talk about your capacity, your capability, and your openness to deal with insecurity. So I made bold to say that Shekarau is one. There are 2 governors, APC governors at the moment, that are contemplating working for the People's Democratic Party. But when the campaign starts, you will see it more.
You know, you made a number of assertions in there, which these are in the realm of your opinion, and you're entitled to them. But I don't know that facts actually bear them out. I mean, saying that, for example, APC will be lucky to win even 1 state, it doesn't seem to match the lie of the ground. People can see the popularity of APC. People have seen visits to those areas by, for instance, APC and its presidential candidate. The governor is not without influence. The governor and the APC, hierarchy, they're quite tight. So, but when you make these statements, as I say, it's your prerogative, it's your right. But I'm not sure that
permit me to clarify
all will agree with you.
Permit me to clarify that.
Sure.
Let me. No, I don't speak in conjecture. I will give you facts. But as a political party and a member of a political party, I cannot bring out all the strategies we are adopting to take over Northwest. But I will give you facts that
but the fact that APC
and they are in the public. No. Let me finish.
You said APC will be lucky to win even 1 state.
Space.
You said APC.
So that's what I want to go ahead to tell you why.
Let me try and understand that.
Let me go ahead to tell you.
Sure.
Let me go ahead to tell you that. Now, I started by telling you that the Northwest overwhelmingly vote the president. First of all, you don't win in Nigeria as a president if the Northwest does not vote for you. They have the highest voting bloc in the country, right? That's one. Then number two, as we speak, when the APC presidential flag bearer won the primaries, he appointed as his vice presidential candidate somebody from the Northeast and not from the Northwest. Soon after he has done that, we started hearing grumbling from the Northwest. Major blocs in the Northwest said, unless that is reversed, they are not going to work for Asiwaju. We also heard that a number of governors from the Northwest, up till this moment as I speak to you, are posing what we call a sit-down look, which is why it is in the public domain that Asiwaju appointed a committee to try to appease them. Two. Number three, you remember the insecurity in the Northwest where farmers cannot go to the farm and farm because they have to pay the bandit. There are places where they even pay tax. Even the cattle rearers cannot successfully do that. So in other words, the economic activities of the Northwest is zero or minus zero. That's the third one. Number three, about 20 states as we speak, in Nigeria, in APC-led states, 20 states, they have parallel executive. And the national chairman of APC said, unless they deal with this situation, they are not likely going to have a chance in the election. So I'm quoting him. And thirdly, the presidential aspirants that contested alongside Asiwaju, not a single of them is fully on board with him as I speak to you, because you are a journalist, you must have read in the media and the rest, which is why he also appointed a committee to try to appease them. Their anger and frustration is that the fact that they stood and challenged Asiwaju does not mean that their political life and career should end, because almost all of them have problems in their respective states. I give you an example. And I'm not saying the person told me, but you can see that for yourself. In the South, there was a presidential candidate or aspirant that ran against Asiwaju. Up till this moment, APC and Asiwaju have been negotiating to poach a governor from the South to support them. And yet that aspirant, who is a leader of the party in that state, was bypassed and sidelined. Do you think such a person will be happy? He has never said a word in the media and has never been upbeat about the campaign. You go to the Northeast, where the Senate president comes from. Many people said that as soon as he challenged Asiwaju, then a senator from his place who had an understanding that he was holding the place for him suddenly said he was never going to step down. And the man is having issues. You can spread that across every part. A party that is having this challenge will definitely have a scare in the election. But why did Bwala say the Northwest they cannot get a single state? Let me start with Kano. Shekarau
before you launch,
at some point, Kwankwaso is going to support us. At some point. Now, they can deny that, but I'm saying at some point is going to support us. So we've taken Kano. Have you not seen the migration of people from PDP in KB? Of APC in KB. They are migrating from APC in KB and are going into PDP. If you come to Katsina, while the governor of Katsina a few days ago was talking about we will win, right behind his door, you will see the crowd that rallied around the defection of 100,000 people from APC to PDP in Daura.